Hello, everyone. Welcome to 3 o'clock with SOC. Give me just a second so I can make sure those that need Spanish interpretation have access to our interpretation line. Buenas tardes. Gracias por estar aquí con nosotros en otro foro comunitario con SOC. Como siempre, ustedes pueden escuchar esta información en español a través de nuestra línea de interpretación. Y hay que marcar el número que aparece aquí en la pantalla, 646-749-3122, y luego hay que poner el código que es 779-328-221. Thank you for allowing me to share that information. We are really excited for our forum today and for the rest of this week as well. And I just want to remind you all on this Monday, as usual, that you can access these interviews, this information at any time on our Facebook and our YouTube page. So even if you aren't able to be with us right at 3 o'clock during the weekdays, we have this information and these videos for you always through our YouTube and our Facebook. I would also love to know who's here with us today. We've already got a number of comments in the comment section from the lovely Alan, who is helping us out today. And I would love to see anyone that is listening or watching, give us a thumbs up, give us a heart, give us a hello in the comment section so we can know that you're here listening with us. And of course, we always encourage you to submit comments or questions at any time throughout the process of our interviews and our videos. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and welcome our guest for today. We have Ryan Clancy, the County Supervisor for District 4, and we're really excited to talk about a resolution that will be regarding evictions, getting the right to counsel for evictions in the County of Milwaukee. So we're so thankful to have you here.
I'm grateful to be here. I really appreciate having you this afternoon. Thank you.
Yeah, so whenever we bring people on, we just like to give them the opportunity to introduce themselves, let us get to know them a little bit, and then doing a quick overview of the role of County Supervisor. What does that entail? What are the responsibilities? Things like that.
Absolutely. Thanks so much. Yeah, and my name is Ryan Clancy, so I'm the County Supervisor for District 4. It's a weird kind of U-shaped looking district. So it's parts of the near south side, as well as parts of Bayview and a little corridor that connects them. And I live in Bayview. I've got 5 kids. We have a guest staying with us from Honduras, who's going through his asylee process. We've got a hedgehog, kind of a big happy family, and really happy to get going on the right to counsel too. This is something that I've been working on for a while. Essentially what it would do is provide an attorney to every person in Milwaukee County facing either eviction or foreclosure. So as it stands right now, there are some amazing people at Legal Action and Legal Aid that are trying their best with limited resources to provide some advice to people going through that, but it's just not enough for everybody. So what I'd like to see Milwaukee County do is to join the ranks of Cleveland, New York. There are some other municipalities across the country that have really set that up as a right. So I have a proposal that should be in committee in June, and then in front of the full board later on in June, and that would set that as an absolute right. So if you're facing either eviction or foreclosure, you'll be paired up with a lawyer who can help represent you and push back on some of these unscrupulous landlords that are just trying to milk more resources out of properties without really investing in the community.
Yeah, so before we go into how that works or what it would look like, can you just go over kind of how I said at the beginning, what are the roles and responsibilities of a county supervisor, and this being something that would involve your responsibilities, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, I got ahead of myself. I'm really
yeah, no worries.
Yeah, in general, the county supervisors are to Milwaukee County what kind of the alder persons are to the city. Right, so the city has the mayor and alders. We have the county executive and then county supervisors. So there are 18 of us all around Milwaukee County. We each represent, give or take, about 65,000 people. I have an office in the courthouse downtown, although I've only been up there a few times during the pandemic. Really, most of my work is kind of focused in the community and helping out here. The county is more focused on kind of human services, right? So it's the infrastructure, it's the parks, buses. It's what I've really been impressed in recently is the Department of Health and Human Services. If you hear me say DHHS during this, that's who I'm talking about. And especially their homeless outreach folks who have been doing just a tremendous job overall, but I mean, really in the last year and a half during the pandemic to try to get people essential services and then to get them into short, medium, and kind of longer term housing. So that's, the right to counsel kind of falls under that. And I'm really happy to see their successes and kind of build on it with this.
Yeah, so could you talk to us a little bit then about how it would look, how it would work, how would people get access to an attorney if this were to go through?
Absolutely, yeah. So right now, yeah, it's kind of a patchwork of volunteer attorneys and some really dedicated folks doing the best they can with limited resources. But starting as soon as we can roll it out, and hopefully that'll be within the next several months. If you're facing eviction or foreclosure, you would contact the county, probably the Department of Health and Human Services. The same folks who have been doing really good work with doing rental assistance. So I know a lot of our neighbors, community members have benefited from that. And the idea of pairing an attorney who can help push back on eviction or foreclosure, but then also the folks in that same department being able to help out with rent assistance and to figure out how the eviction happened in the first place. Certainly there are some unscrupulous landlords that just want to boot people out to get more money. Sometimes people have legitimately fallen behind in rent, but just want that due process and either need time to move out and find another place, or really could benefit from just finding that back rent through the county or other programs and then getting back on their feet and remaining in their housing, because ultimately it's a much better use of resources, and it's just the right thing to do to keep people in housing that works for them, rather than waiting until they're experiencing homelessness or precarious housing and then trying to provide that support. So it's we've seen just amazing amazing data from Cleveland and New York and the other places that have done it, not only just in terms of people staying in their homes and the economic benefit there, but also to their children. So especially homes with with minor children in them are less likely to drop out of school. They have better attendance. Lead levels are lower if you're staying in supportive, stable housing and not having to move frequently. And then the employment status of the tenants themselves is vastly improved. When somebody loses housing, there are a ton of really terrible effects, and we can mitigate all of those by a relatively minor investment. This would only cost the county about $2 million. We've already secured about $300,000 per year out of that $2 million from the United Way, which I'm incredibly grateful to for this. So what this would do is kind of start a pilot program for the next year and a half, getting that going. The United Way is committed to it for 5 years. I would hope that Milwaukee County would re-up our commitment after that year and a half and after we see the good data that we have to keep that going too.
Yeah, that's all great news, and definitely grateful to United Way for committing to something like that for that long. That's really exciting. You mentioned that this has been rolled out in other cities, similar programs, and that there's been good data. Has there been any kind of unintended consequences or problems that might come along with doing this sort of program? I know I read in an article that people assume that maybe they'll be like clogging up the courts or things like that, but that actually hasn't been found either. Correct?
Absolutely, yeah. So when I first started looking at it a couple of years ago, that was my initial take on it too. Like, if we provide everybody an attorney, yeah, the clogs are going to be, or the courts are going to be clogged up. It's just going to be a madhouse. As it turns out, it's really just the opposite. And the judiciary folks in these other municipalities have loved it, because as it turns out, if your landlord knows that you have a lawyer and that you're willing to push back on a potential eviction, they're more likely to work things out with you and keep you in your housing, actually less likely for you to end up in court. So it really does go the other way. It's a great use of resources, and most judges absolutely love it. Certainly some of the big bad real estate folks and unscrupulous landlords have pushed back on it. And we've seen, lobbying groups and other places go after it. And in fact, one of the things that I'm most excited about is the unintended consequence of making Milwaukee a less good place for these out-of-state absentee landlords to buy up property. What we've been seeing, especially in the last couple of years, is that folks who do want to buy a home are competing against these out-of-state absentee landlords who are coming in with cash offers, driving up the price of property, and really competing against homeowners. What this will mean is that we're going to be a less attractive space for those large absentee landlords who really don't invest much in the community and are really, not doing the right thing. That's one of the kind of the unintended consequences that's happened in other places that I'm really looking forward to here. What I really want to see are people owning their homes, or to be able to rent a place in a stable way. The person who lives and works in the community and is really invested.
Absolutely. Yeah. And thank you for touching on how difficult, especially given the low interest rates right now, the housing market is really, I would say, not ideal for anyone really trying to be a homeowner. And yeah, thank you for touching on that. How can people voice their opinion about this potential resolution? Will there be like an e-comment option or any kind of town hall or anything like that?
Absolutely. So Milwaukee County has finally moved to live virtual testimony. In the next, I don't know how many months, but at some point we'll be back to actual live testimony. But you can testify to this in committee. As soon as we have the information on which committee it's scheduled in, I'll let you know, but it will be mid-June. And I'd also like to appeal to some folks out there. I've talked to many constituents who've gone through eviction and foreclosure, either successfully from the landlord's point of view, where they've been evicted, or the banks on the foreclosure side. But there's a stigma associated with that, and it's often difficult to speak about in public. If anybody out there today is willing to be brave and to tell your story, both to the media or in committee, and to say that you've gone through an eviction, maybe speak to some of the personal effects on you and your children, or the same thing with foreclosure. We need those stories. And I've talked to a lot of folks who, and I totally understand that, I understand the stigma, are not willing to speak publicly about their experiences. But if you're willing to speak to my colleagues or to the media, I know Channel 4 is looking for somebody right away to go on record, that would be a lifesaver, and you could really help a lot of other people not experience the same thing that you did. So if you're willing to reach out, please do get in contact with my office. I'd love to put you in contact with them.
Yeah, do you want to go ahead and say how people could get in touch with you? And we'll throw that in the comment section.
Yeah, you bet. And I can toss it in chat here too. Email is probably the easiest way for something like that. It's Ryan, R-Y-A-N, period Clancy, C-L-A-N-C-Y, at milwaukeecountywi.gov. Otherwise, I will give you my cell phone number here too, and it'll get right to me. For this, it's 414-559-6700. Yeah, please do reach out, whether it's about that or really anything else in the county that I can help with. I'm happy to.
Yeah, thank you. We appreciate that contact info. But yeah, those personal testimonies really make a difference in these sorts of resolutions. So hopefully we have somebody reach out, and we will continue to ask that of people as well.
For sure. And it's looking pretty good so far. So, I mean, I'm now one of, I was able to get 7 co-sponsors for this out of 18. That's a really high number. That suggests that it'll be, that it's going over well already. It suggests that it will pass. But really, yeah, if folks are willing to reach out, I'd love to put you in contact with folks who may be on the fence on it.
Yeah, awesome. Do you want to briefly touch on that, like how a resolution gets passed, like going through the committee process and the full board, so that people can get a sense of how that works?
Absolutely. And it's I'm only about a year into this, and I tend to be impatient. When there's a really good idea like this, I want to see it happen right away. But this has been happening since before last November. So for this particular one, and it's pretty representative, I put something in the last budget when we were fighting about other things, asking the Department of Health and Human Services to put together a report, letting us know how much this right would cost. They came up with the report in April. It will be heard along with this resolution probably in the June cycle, and it'll first have to be assigned by the chairwoman to one of our standing committees. So I would imagine it would go in front of what used to be Health and Human Needs, what is now Health Equity, Human Needs and Strategic Planning. It might also go in front of the Finance Committee. And in those committees is really where the public can chime in. So that's when you would sign up to speak. You would get 2 minutes in most cases to kind of make your case. Sometimes the supervisors will ask you questions, but normally it's just you telling your story or giving your opinion for a couple of minutes. And then we would deliberate in committee, vote on whether we think it should be recommended for approval or for rejection. And then it would go in front of the full committee a week or two later, which is the full board. And that's all 18 of us. Once we vote on it there, it then goes on to the county executive, who almost always signs things into law. It's very rare for him or any county executive to send it back unsigned as kind of a veto. But we can always overturn that if we need to. The county exec seems very supportive of this and other things, so I wouldn't anticipate that. Yeah, it's been really interesting to see kind of the process and everything behind the scenes. But moves a little bit slower than I want to sometimes. But on this one especially, it really is important that we do everything we can to get those lawyers, kind of geared up, ready to go, and understanding the local market so we can keep people in their housing. I mean, it's an important thing.
Yeah, definitely. Anything else you want to share regarding this resolution specifically? Otherwise, let's go into other things that people should be paying attention to at the county level.
You bet. No, that's great. And I just wanted to make sure that we have the contact right. The email address should be ryan.clancy@milwaukeecountywi.gov. So if I misspoke before, I apologize. That's it's a long email address. It doesn't really roll off the tongue, but just so it doesn't go to another Milwaukee County, conceivably in Oregon or something. So.
Yeah, no, we'll make sure to delete the comment with the incorrect email then. Thank you for pointing that out.
That's great. And what's the question? I totally missed that.
Oh, it was just if there was anything else that you wanted to add about this resolution specifically, or if there's other items that are coming out at the county level that we should be paying attention to.
Sure. So one of the things, and this is kind of a longer term push for me, but it's to work on participatory budgeting, right? So the idea that every year the county has a tool called the Balancing Act. And every year we're in rather a lot of debt when it comes to the budget, and that tool is an attempt to get the public's take on which things you think should get less funding. Essentially, in some cases you can actually increase funding to things. What we've seen year after year is that actual human services, things like this program, things like housing, jobs, mental health, are things that residents really value and want us to spend more money on. And parks is always in the top, transit as well. Things like the sheriff's department or the judiciary or administrative costs, those tend to be ones that the residents do not value and try to reduce. What participatory budgeting would do is to make that, instead of just asking residents what they want and then sometimes ignoring that in the budget process, participatory budgeting would actually give you control over the dollars in a much more direct way. So rather than going to your supervisor and having them craft something and do that separately or as part of the budget process, this would say we're setting aside X number of dollars, and then we get to vote on what that's used on. And in other places that they've tried that, it's not only come up with some really substantial things, whether it's repairing infrastructure or sculptures or things like that in parks, but it's also led to a lot more engagement from folks into that budget process and really understanding where our dollars go and what our priorities are as a community. And ultimately, a budget is a moral document where we put our dollars really kind of reflects what we value as a community. So I'm very much in favor of making that an easier path for folks and to let people get involved, so that if you have an idea about what we should be doing with your money at the county, having a system where we can get proposals from the public, vet those, figuring out how much they would cost, and then work on those more directly. So that'll be hopefully the next few months or so. I know on the city side, there's a push for that now as well. And a lot of that's coming down from the federal dollars. So the American Rescue Plan Act dollars. We don't normally have extra money at the county, but these federal dollars coming in everybody wants a piece of it, right? I think there are really good uses of it, like this program. I think every department wants to kind of dip their beak in and have their own pet projects. But I'm really much more in favor of making sure that those dollars stay to fund human needs, so mental health, housing, things that people need during the pandemic, not punitive ones like law enforcement or prisons or things like that, which are not essential services, essentially.
Absolutely. I'm just going to make sure we don't have any comments or questions here in the comment section. We do have a hello and a heart from John Schuster. Thanks for commenting. And yeah, so, in the last couple minutes here, any last messages you want to share with us? Any other information you want to share with the Southsiders that may be watching?
No, that's great. I've during the pandemic, it's been difficult for me to get to as many places as I can physically. But certainly, if there's something on your mind, if you'd like to know more about this or anything else, please do reach out. I mean, I love to talk to folks. After this was announced, I've been hearing a lot of really heartbreaking stories about individuals, evictions and foreclosure things. But if there is something that the county can do to make your life better, reach out to me, let me know, and I'll try to champion that moving forward. But I'm proud to serve the 4th District. And again, if you are comfortable sharing your story with me, I'd love to hear it. If you're comfortable sharing your story with the media or with my colleagues, that would be really valuable right now. And we could use your voice.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Supervisor Clancy. We're thankful for your time and for helping us understand what this resolution could do for people in the county of Milwaukee and for people who may be watching. I'm sure they're very thankful for the information. So we will definitely hopefully have you back on so we can have good news later on in June and learn more about how it will move forward.
Looking forward to it. Thank you so much. Appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you. Have a good rest of your day.
You too.
Very thankful for his time, and all of his contact information is in the comment section, so feel free to look through that, and also websites to learn more about the county board and any updates and news from them as well. So definitely pay attention to that comment section. And I will now bring on, we're going to have a COVID-19 update from Marlene, and I will bring her on now. Hello.
Thank you so much.
Go.
All right. So I just got my first Pfizer vaccine because I had some health issues that I needed to figure out before I could get my COVID vaccine. So that is something that a lot of folks are going through right now. So if people haven't gotten their COVID vaccine yet, try to understand that it could be because of underlying health issues and they're just kind of trying to figure all that out. So I got my first one. I went to Hyatt Pharmacy and I just walked in. They asked me which vaccine I wanted. They had the Pfizer and the Johnson & Johnson and Moderna available. And I asked for the Pfizer just because that's the one I want. And they sat me inside. It literally took 10 minutes to complete everything. And then once I got the vaccine, I had to wait 15 minutes to see if there was any allergic reaction. Luckily, I'm feeling really great. I don't have any reactions or anything right now. So I'll keep you guys posted if I do get anything. But common things that you can get is fever, chills, body aches, a sore arm. So those are completely normal. I always get my shots on the right arm because a nurse told me once that you should get your shot in the arm that you use the most because it heals faster since you use it more often. So then, and then those muscles are used more. So it kind of helps like massage like the vaccine throughout your muscle better. So then like less of a sore arm. So I didn't know that, but I learned it a couple months ago. So that being said, I will be getting my next shot June 14th. So be getting that, and then I would be completing my series. I'll keep you guys posted on my reactions. So there's a quick update that is really interesting. I wanted to show you guys. The North-South Club on May 27th, this Thursday, from 4 to 8 p.m., they're going to be giving people their COVID vaccine. So if you get your COVID vaccine there, you can get a free game of shuffleboard or axe throwing. So that's really interesting, and it's a great incentive, I feel, to get people to go out and get their COVID vaccine. So it's at the North-South Club, May 27th, this Thursday, from 4 to 8 p.m. You'll go in, there'll be a vaccination clinic through the Milwaukee Health Department. You'll get a shot, and then you'll get a free game of axe throwing or shuffleboard. What more do you want? And then other than that, I would like to let you guys know that there are walk-in clinics at the Wisconsin Center, located at 500 West Wells Street, Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. to 5:30 p.m., Saturday, 9 a.m. to 3:30 p.m., and then the next two locations are the Northwest Health Center at 6431 North 76th Street and the Southside Health Center at 1639 South 23rd Street. Those dates that are available are Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m., and Tuesday and Thursday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. So you can go walk in, get your COVID vaccine there. You can go to Hyatt Pharmacy, which is on Layton Avenue, and just walk in and get your COVID vaccine there too. There are also mobile clinics that you can utilize. The one on the south side is on West Bruce Street, which is next to Walker's Point Community Clinic. And then you also have some COVID vaccine library clinics available that are walk-in, which is the Zablocki Library, Washington Park Library, which are open Monday 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. and Wednesday, Friday, 12 to 4 p.m. And then you also have the Mitchell Street Library that is open Tuesday, Thursdays, 12 to 4 p.m. If you have any questions, you can call the Milwaukee Public Health Department's hotline at 414-286-6800. But other than that, we have all of the links for you guys in the comments section. If you want to know where all of the locations to get vaccinated are, you can go to the milwaukee.gov/COVIDvax site. So that goes right to the Milwaukee Health Department. You can find all of the locations I just talked about for vaccinations. And that's in the comment section. So those are my updates for today. If you haven't gotten vaccinated, go get vaccinated. I feel very grateful and lucky to even have access to it. People in India right now have skyrocketing cases and they have low supply of vaccines. So we're very fortunate to be able to have all of this accessibility to get the COVID vaccine, because lots of people are dying from this virus all over the world.
Yeah, I completely agree. And thank you for bringing that up. And I also love the concept of get vaxxed and throw an axe. I don't know how you felt after you got yours, but when I got mine, I felt like this moment of yes, yeah. I feel like so much better now. And I would have loved to just whip an axe at a wall or something.
I wish I found out about it when I got home after I got vaccinated. I was like, oh man, I could have waited till Thursday.
No, but we're very excited for you and for getting vaccinated, love. Thanks for sharing also.
For sure.
And thank you for your update. Talk to you later.
Bye.
Awesome that we have another staff that is vaccinated. We're thankful to have access to the vaccine for sure. And, if you are doubtful still, definitely access those links that are in the comment section for more information about it. to learn more about, whatever it is that might be worrying you about it. And last but not least for today, I just want to let you all know that there is going to be a bilingual information session about the American Rescue Plan Act, which is a bunch of federal money, over $300 million that's coming into Milwaukee. And they are having different sessions to get public input about what should be done or how we should prioritize the use of that money. So this Thursday at 5:30 p.m., from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m., there is going to be a bilingual information session about that money that's coming into Milwaukee. Half of it, or a portion of it, has already been distributed and is ready to be used. So there'll be information about that this Thursday as well. So you can find that link in the comment section for registration. It's a GoToWebinar is the platform that they use, and it'll just ask you for your name, and then you can just hit register. And so if you have any problems getting registered for that, if you want to access it, just let us know and we will help guide you through that process. But the link will show up very shortly in the comment section. So please register for that. Having presence, even if you aren't going to share your opinion, hearing what others think about this, and just having public presence at these sorts of meetings really means a lot. And so if you have time, 5:30 to 7:30 this Thursday, May 27th, definitely register for that. And other than that, I'm just going to announce who we have for the rest of the week. And on Wednesday, we're going to have someone from the Department of Neighborhood Services on to talk about the Building Safety Month. And we're going to have some other great guests for you that we'll announce shortly as well. But definitely tune in throughout the week. We always have really awesome guests for you all. So definitely tune in. Also, please fill out our survey that always shows up in the comment section as well. And I will leave you with a video that explains why you should take that survey for us. And we will be back with you tomorrow with another forum.
Has this live forum been informative and useful to you? What part of the forum could be improved or changed to make it better? Please take a quick survey that's located in the comments section so that we can keep 3 o'clock with SOC going for residents. Thank you for tuning in.